I guess from the video, we clearly know what Val Real Estate is all about. So let's pick it up from your journey up until today that has gotten you winning so much confidence from the numerous people who've spoken about the process.
Yes, thank you for having me here.
Yeah.
So we began our journey in Nairobi about 5 years ago. Since then, we've managed to complete our first project, which you saw through the video. It's called Moon Valley Apartments. It's been a very exciting journey. I actually joined the company from the inception, and I've seen it grow into what it is now. What I can say is we delivered on our promise. Moon Valley is now ready as our first out of the 4 projects that we're doing right now. We started from 5 employees and now we are almost 60. So it's been a very good journey so far.
Incredible. And so what sets you apart from the other firms of real estate that we have on board?
Okay, so the first most important thing was the clients. We wanted to do something where clients appreciate what we're doing. We focused heavily on our finishing, the quality of finishing. We make sure that our standard is not dropped at all. We pushed our subcontractors and our contractors to the max, and even in terms of our amenities that we provided. I think we've provided the Rolls Royce of amenities in Kileleshwa.
All right, that's amazing. All right, so looking at the Kenyan space of real estate, 5 years down the line and you still stick here, what is the situation like? In most cases, there's that argument that is almost impossible or it's extremely hard to run businesses on ground.
Well, we've seen a very positive outlook for the Kenyan market. Don't forget, we started right before the previous election. So nothing has deterred us in this market. The demand has been growing year on year. So has the supply. We feel that high quality products are in demand, and nothing has really affected us too much in the Kenyan market.
That's incredible. Let's talk about briefly about the Moon Valley Apartments. You say that this was your first project.
Yes.
And it seemed like you really pride in it. What was the experience like? What is that journey like? What is the guarantee that you got that you'd get more and more referrals, you get more and more jobs from this particular client?
So far, each and every client that we've spoken to, we had a handover event last week, Saturday. Each and every client that came, there was no frowning or anything. It was smiles all the way. People are happy with the product we've given. Just to give you an example, we created a barbecue area. So we didn't just leave the space open. We provided a whole gazebo area with the grills, and we cooked the food on those grills for 150 people, just to show people that you can actually use what we're giving you. We've provided a whole section to make it like a hotel when you're walking in. And all the residents are happy with that.
So what other projects are you working on?
So we've got Elite Towers in Westlands. It's on Westlands Road. It's a 20-story building and it's going to be ready end of next year. We've got Divine Suites in Riverside, which is going to be ready in July next year. This is a furnished and serviced concept going to be managed by a hotelier. And finally, we've got Wilma Towers in Kilimani on Elgeyo Marakwet Road. We've developed the studio 1, 2, and 3-bedroom apartments.
Why these particular areas? And I mean, I'd love to know whether you're open to working on other different areas.
So we focused on the main areas, if you've seen, Kileleshwa, Kilimani, Westlands, and Riverside. We are particularly a high-end developer. This is what we've been doing in Egypt, in Turkey, in Saudi Arabia. And we also opened up in Ghana this year. So we've been focusing on capital cities mainly and the high-end residential areas.
All right. So when we're talking about high-end residential areas, and then the question would be, why not office spaces? Why not mixed-use developments and all that?
We feel the market is in the residential space mainly. In fact, the one main thing you need as an individual is a home to live in. And this is the market that we're capturing. Mainly residential over offices, because these particular areas, especially, we do a 6-month feasibility study. If we select a plot, on the road itself, we capture each development around, and mostly the areas that we go for the residential areas. Yeah.
Why offline projects?
Off-plan projects make it easier for the client. You get a cheaper price as to when the show house is ready, the price goes up. When the shell is ready, the price goes up further. And when it's completely ready, the price goes to the maximum limit. So it's cheaper for the buyer to buy then. Also, you have a longer payment plan. So you don't have to give me all the funds up front. You can pay me over 2-3 years when the project moves along. Also, in terms of the finishing, let's say there is a selected tile you want to change in color. It's possible to do that. If there is a small additional cost, we will let you know. Sometimes we even bear the cost. So generally in the finishing, you can make changes. Also, you can see what the developer is using in terms of the grade of steel. You know, if you walk into site, you can see the mix of cement to see that you're actually getting the product that you've paid for. Yeah.
Well, I am curious because in most cases you find that, yes, like you rightfully put it, sometimes you focus on setting up this structure and you squarely leave it on the contractor, and before you know it, when you're coming back, it looks pretty much good, but you know, months down the line, years down the line, you realize that, you know, the material that was used is cheap quality. Sometimes I'm like, is it just being mischievous, or in real sense, sometimes it's an expensive project and then the contractor has to do some bit of mediocre so at least they can get something. In this case, how do you then get to that point where you're making interest or profits and equally you do not do a shoddy job?
Well, that's a very interesting point. And this is something where Val Real Estate is very unique. The contractor for us, they build the shell. Finishing is done by us as well. So we have almost 8 engineers. That's the equivalent to 8 clerk of works on site. On a usual site, you would only find 1 clerk of works from the developer side. We monitor the contractor heavily in terms of what steel they're using, what mix of cement they're using, and then we do the finishing ourselves with our own interior design and engineering company. So we make sure that the standard is ours to our level, not to the contractor's level. So that's what makes us unique, and that's what makes us develop an excellently finished product.
All right, that's amazing. Let's talk about the fears that come along with this, the fraud that comes along with this, and the regulations that are a little bit too tight in existence also.
Yes. In terms of the regulation, we feel that the government has been very cooperative in terms of helping us. We've followed every law to the letter in terms of following the construction regulations.
How to do it?
So like for example, on the part of off-plan projects. Now, one thing again which is maybe slightly unique to Val Real Estate is we don't borrow. We are self-financed. We've done almost 120 projects globally. So we have that ability to build the project. We drop in finance initially, and then of course we take in clients' deposits and all of that, and we drop in finance when we are procuring finishing as well. So we have a plan A, plan B, and plan C when it comes to financing our projects, which makes it slightly different from other companies. A perfect example is Mumbai Apartments. During this pandemic, we estimated we would have been delayed, but we managed to complete it relatively on time and delivering on our promise. So I would tell consumers not to be scared of buying off-plan, especially when it comes to value. We've got a very good plan and objective.
All right, well, I know we've already asked, such is not always like such kind of power, but Trump seems to be bringing a different phase of what we take it to be. What does it make you feel?
The decisions they make. It's important for citizens, not just because of what we do today that we obey this, we obey the curfew and so on, but for us over time to internalize and learn the
exponentially. So before we entered the Kenyan market, we did a feasibility study on almost 40 African markets, and we selected Kenya and Ghana as the number one markets up and coming in Africa, and this was because of the economic growth, the political stability. Many factors led to Kenya being the right option to put our investment in, and so far I feel we've done almost over $4 to $5 billion billion shillings worth of investment.
That's incredible. COVID-19 is here.
So I think
yes.
The effects of it on particularly Val and generally the real estate.
Well, we as Val, we took COVID really seriously. We started off working in shifts to protect our employees. We made sure we have all the right protocols at the office and at the site. In terms of selling, now this is where our finishing came into play and our quality, and the fact that not one day did we miss like construction being stopped at all. There was not even one day, and many clients can attest to this. And we managed to do this during COVID, whereas a few other developers did not manage to do that, and that's where they struggled. And we've had a good time so far because we managed to sell a couple of units. In fact, meeting targets as well was very possible during this period. October went fine for us as well. So we have a very good structure in terms of the organization. Everybody has their role to play. I think we've done that to the maximum, and it's enabled us to succeed during this period.
But secondly,
how does 2021
look like
that
it's important to understand
and equally
the
the real estate in general? Now that you say you've been able to perform very well,
the management of public affairs and management of power in society,
we see 2021 being better than 2020.
A lot of them happen behind
mainly because now people have moved away from being afraid of what is the virus to actually now living with the virus. And of course, next year we feel that there will be a lot of more remedies towards curing this situation that we have now. Demand will rise even further, and as a result of that, prices will rise further as well. So on that note, I would encourage any buyer, if you're looking to put any deposit, put it now, because you'll get a much more favorable rate. So during COVID, we had a special offer, 15% discount, which really pushed our sales. So the 2021 market, we feel that it's going to grow much bigger than the 2020 market, and we as well are looking to start 2 more projects.
Incredible. Thank you so much, Richard, Head of Sales Val Real Estate. In a minute or less, I'll allow you to do now that you're head of sales, to sell the project or to sell Val Real Estate to the people as we get to wind up.
Those ones, I mean, if you remember
thank you very much.
security laws
So Val Real Estate, we delivered Moon Valley Apartments. It's ready. We've actually signed leases with almost 45 tenants. We are slowly filling the building up. Right now is the time, if you are someone who wants to buy something which is ready for occupation, I would say come and view the apartments. Trust me, just this past week, I've had 3 people that come, viewed for the first time and left checks just to take their apartments. We have Elite Towers in Westlands. Now this is the live, work and play element for development. It's right in the heart of Westlands, perfect for Airbnb, and for me, a 10% plus return on investment. And then we have Divine Suites in Riverside. This is a very unique development, furnished and serviced, and going to be managed by an international hotelier. 15% ROI, highest in East Africa. If you want to find out more, come and speak to us in the office. We would gladly give you information on that.
Where are you located?
We're located in Riverside Drive, in a building called Keystone Park. Our final project is Wilma Towers in Kilimanjaro, Geo Market Road. It's a very prime road, and it's Studio 1, 2, and 3. And I might add, we are the pioneers of the studio and 1 bedrooms. I think a lot of people have followed us since then. We are bringing unique and nice, very nice, beautiful concepts to Kenya. And watch this space next year for 2 brand new concepts which we're bringing into this market.
Well, the time is now. I dare not to say it might, like he has rightfully put it. For more information,
I think it's important for people to look at it that way.
It was great having you once again. We cross over to a different conversation on mass relationships.
Totally evil, in my opinion, I wouldn't get involved, and I would be part of a mobilization to make some attempt to stop it. But people see that there are problems, but there are opportunities.